After trading Clint Capella, the Rockets went full small ball this year, and while they had a pretty good run in the playoffs, ultimately they ended up losing 4-1 to the LA Lakers in the second round of the playoffs. And as suggested by William, today we're going to be seeing if the best players under 6'5" would be able to win an NBA championship. So we're in my league right now. We got Rockets 2 because we do actually have quite a few players from the Rockets in order to make this roster, and I didn't want to make this team just a bunch of guards. Instead, what we have done is I've chosen the top 2 players at each position that are under 6'5". So starting off here at point guard, we got Stephen Curry coming in at 6'3", Damian Lillard coming in at 6'2". At shooting guard, we got James Harden coming in at 6'5", Donovan Mitchell coming in at 6'1". At small forward, we got Will Barton coming in at 6'5", and Eric Gordon coming in at 6'3". And then after this, the overalls of our players dropped quite a bit. There aren't many big men under 6'5". In fact, we could only find one center under 6'5", that being PJ Tucker. So what I did instead is I took the top 3 power forwards under 6'5". That way we have 4 big men on the team, even though they're actually not that big. So starting off here, we got Nasir Little. He's 6'5", coming in at a 71 overall. Then we got Zylan Cheatham coming in at 6'5". He's a 67 overall. And then lastly, we got Jarrell Brantley coming in at 6'5", as well as a 66 overall. And I'm actually going to be moving Jarrell Brantley to center. I'm going to be changing his position to center. That way we have 2 centers, we have 2 power forwards, and then we got 2 players at every single position. And then the rest of the team is just a 40 overall. We're just going to be running a 10-man rotation throughout the entire season. And we're going to be seeing if this team can do what the Houston Rockets couldn't, and that's win an NBA championship. Now, we do have 3 Houston Rocket players on this team. The only person is still in the playoffs on this team is Will Barton, but he's injured, so he's not even playing for the Nuggets right now. But let's hop into the season and see what these guys can do. All right, so I meant to stop at All-Star Weekend, but I accidentally went a little past that because I want to check out if any of our players made the All-Star teams and everything like that. We should have a few players on there, at least, maybe even more. So we'll come over here to All-Star teams. So we got Team LeBron, Team Giannis as our 2 captains, and on Team LeBron, we have James Harden starting. So there's 1 player from our team, and on Team Giannis as a reserve, we have Stephen Curry. So 2 players from our team make it on there, and I believe those are the only 2. No Damian Lillard, no Donovan Mitchell, which would have been the only other 2 players that would have made it. They don't end up making the team though. And so far in the season, team's doing very, very well. 47-12 right now. So they might end up getting the first seed. They are in the Eastern Conference, even though it's the Houston Rockets 2.0. It doesn't make any sense at all, but it is what it is. We made it to the end of the season. Luka is going to get MVP. He just puts up such crazy numbers in these simulations. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do next year. Rookie of the year goes to a 40 overall, just because there's no other rookies. Damian Lillard is going to get 6th man of the year. He was the backup for Stephen Curry. So he's going to get 6th man. He averaged 22.4 points per game. So it'll be interesting to see what some of our starters numbers look like. Giannis gets defensive player of the year. Jamal Murray gets most improved. And Jacques Vaughn, which I believe is our head coach, is going to get coach of the year. So they added real coaches to the all-time teams now. Last year, it was just a bunch of the 2K developers. But now we have a real coach at the head coach position. And the team ends up going 60-22. So it looks like he did a pretty good job. Nobody on the first team from our team. James Harden is going to be on the second team, and on our third team there is no players from our team. I thought Stephen Curry would have made it up there, but not quite. All defensive first team, nobody on there, and nobody on the all defensive second team. We didn't really have any great defenders on the team, and I was wrong. The Rockets are in fact in the West. I thought I put them in the East for some reason, but I did have them in the West. They do get the first seed, 60-22. Clippers right behind them. Then we have the Lakers, Mavericks, Grizzlies. Suns end up making playoffs. Pelicans, Timberwolves, and then the Thunder just barely missing out on the playoffs. Somehow, the Nuggets did awful. Their team literally didn't change. We didn't take anybody from their team. We took Will Barton, but I mean, he's not playing anyways. And Nuggets just not able to get it done. We did take Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz, so they got quite a bit worse. Trailblazers, of course, losing out on Damian Lillard. They did awful. Rockets losing out on Harden. Warriors losing out on Stephen Curry. But I don't even think we had a single player from the East. Coming over to our player stats, James Harden still doing very well. 29.2 points per game. Then Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, both with 22.9. Lillard right behind them with 22.4. So all our guards doing amazing, great scores and everything. And then after that, just like the overalls, the scoring, it dipped off quite a bit. I mean, we had Eric Gordon with under 10 points per game, Will Barton. PJ Tucker had 3.1 points per game. And then our backup center, Jarrell Brantley, with only 0.8 points per game. So this team's definitely being carried by the guards right now. The big men ain't doing well with the small ball. Rebounds per game, it's going to go to James Harden. We got Steph Curry. PJ Tucker still kind of up there, 5.8 rebounds per game. Not great for a center. He's doing well. Stephen Curry, 8.2 assists per game. He's up on top for steals. Blocks with Nasir Little with 1 block per game. Let's see. This is probably the best shooting team in the entire NBA. Damian Lillard, Stephen Curry, Harden, Donovan Mitchell, all shooting over 40%. So Harden's going to end up being 6th in the league for scoring with 29.2, right behind TJ McCollum. And Stephen Curry was 8th for assists per game. Coming over to the entire team to see how they stacked up against the rest of the league. They should have the most points per game, and they do 127.6. I thought it might be a little higher because, of course, we got some great scores in our guards, but this defense is not great. They're going to be the 8th worst defense in the league, so at least they're not the worst. And they have the 2nd best differential, 4th best field goal percentage. Surprisingly, they didn't have the most 3-pointers made. I thought they would have been up on top pretty easily, and they were only 4th for 3-point percentage. Free throw percentage, they were at the top. They were the 3rd worst rebounding team, number 1 for assists, number 2 for steals, the 2nd worst blocking team, and they had the best bench in the NBA. I mean, when you got Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell coming off the bench, that definitely makes sense. And James Harden also scored 57 points in a single game this season, which is pretty impressive. But let's hop into the playoffs now and see if our Houston Rockets 2.0, our small ball team, can win an NBA championship. Game number 1 up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Rockets go down 1-0. There we go. They tied up 1-1. 2-1 lead now. Timberwolves tying it up 2-2. Rockets taking a 3-2 lead. And in game number 6, Rockets up by 2 points right here with only 15 seconds left. Minnesota probably going to go for a game winner here. And as you can see, most of the team, a lot of guards out right now. And there we go. Timberwolves inside. Get the bucket. Rockets with 6.5 seconds to score here. Stephen Curry gonna have the ball. He's just gonna have to put up a 3 right here. Time winding down, and it is good to go. Stephen Curry with the clutch 3 to advance to the 2nd round. He didn't hit that. I mean, they would have had the chance to go to game 7 and lose it all in the 1st round. Round number 2, they're going to be facing off against the Grizzlies, who had a huge upset over the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, these are our same current teams, and Grizzlies didn't even make playoffs this year. And then the Pelicans also with an upset over the Clippers. And in the East, the Bucks were the 7th seed. Pretty interesting here, but let's get into round number 2 against the Grizzlies. Starting off here, game 1 goes to the Grizzlies. Rockets tie it up. Game 3 goes to the Grizzlies, and then we're tied up 2-2. And then the Lakers with a 4-0 sweep over the Pelicans. Small ball team, the Rockets, going to get another W here with a 3-2 lead in yet another Game 7. And this time in Game 7, it is a blowout. Pretty easy victory for them here. So they're going to be advancing to the conference finals up against the Lakers. And this is the team the Rockets lost to in real life. They lost 4-1 in the West. In the East, we have Nets facing off against Celtics. The Nets are uninjured, so they got Durant, they got Kyrie, and they were able to beat the Miami Heat. But let's see what the Rockets can do against the Lakers. 1-0 lead, 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead. Game number 4, Lakers finally able to get a W. Game 5 is another W to the Lakers. And in game 6, we got a really close one here. Lakers up by 2 points. This is to force a game number 7. And for 3 wins in a row for the Lakers. LeBron in the post, Stephen Curry covering him. There's not much he can do. And right now, Rockets got all 4 of their guards out there right now. And then PJ Tucker in at center. Stephen Curry stepping back. That is no good. And now Rockets gonna have to foul here. So it looks like the Lakers are gonna end up getting this one. I mean, there are some bad free throw shooters on the Lakers. Probably drain both of these. Oh no, okay. Avery Bradley misses his first free throw. And the second free throw is good. So down by 5. They definitely have a chance here if they can hit a few threes in a row. All right, PJ Tucker going to get it in to James Harden. I really hope they shoot a 3 here because that's their only chance. Unless he gets that and one, and no, that's not going to fall. And a green bean on the second one. So I do believe they need a 3 here. Harden going to come inside, though. Takes a mid-range shot for some reason. Lillard from 3, wide open. He can't hit. And that is going to be game right there. We're going to a game 7. Game number 7, again, was pretty close. It kind of went back and forth the entire game. But with a minute left, Rockets with a 6-point lead here. Lakers do have the ball. Harden inside. 2 defenders on him. And somehow Nasir Little getting the rebound there. PJ Tucker drawing the foul. So they actually ended up putting in Nasir and Will Barton. And PJ Tucker going to go 2 for 2 from the line. And that is going to be game right there. Rockets winning in game number 7. A really close series in this. The normal Houston Rockets weren't able to beat the Lakers. I mean, the small ball just didn't end up working great against this team. I mean, with a guy like Anthony Davis, they really have nobody to stop him. But when we had all these great guards, they're finally able to do it. So making our way to the NBA Finals, we got our small ball Rockets team facing off against the Boston Celtics. And this is actually a pretty good matchup right here. Definitely a better matchup than the Lakers. So I think the Rockets can take this. Let's start this thing off. Game 1 goes to Rockets. Game 2, Rockets. Celtics getting a game. Rockets with the 3-1 lead. And game number 5, decently close. Rockets up by 6 points here. Only 45 seconds left in the game. I think the Rockets are going to end up taking this unless the Celtics are hitting some shots here. Kemba Walker, nice step back, and he's not going to miss that. I mean, if the Celtics can get a stop here, they still do have a chance, but it's going to be tough. Lillard with the ball. That's going to be 8 seconds. No, it's not. So close to being an 8-second violation. They're going to hold on to the ball here. Lillard driving out to Will Barton. And that is no good. So a quick 3 here. Foul. And another 3 could tie it up for the Celtics. I don't know how realistic that is, though. Jason Tatum with the ball, just holding on to it. Out to Kemba, who's wide open. And he drains that. I don't know where the defense was there. So obviously, Celtics just going to have to foul here. Marcus Smart fouled out. Donovan Mitchell at the line. Perfect release on the first shot. And the second shot is good as well. Celtics with 3.8 seconds to try to tie this game up. Kemba with the ball. Half-court heave is no good. And the Rockets are going to be our NBA champions, or our players under 6'5" are our NBA champions. So, I mean, small ball does work. It definitely does work. In 2K, you just needed a super stacked team with 4 of the best guards in the NBA, and then some mediocre forwards and big men under 6'5". And Stephen Curry going to be our finals MVP. Stephen Curry averaged 25.2 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 8.6 assists, and shot almost 50% from the 3-point line in order to secure that finals MVP. Also up to a 96 overall. And there we have it. Small ball wins. A few close games here in the playoffs for them. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you do smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a sticker. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up.